Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Master Your Mindset podcast. I'm super excited to be introducing you to today's guest. Today we have Chanel Galanders. Chanel is a master angelic Reiki healer who specializes in helping others to follow their intuition throughout their healing journey and also their everyday lives. Welcome to the Master Your Mindset podcast, Chanel.
Hi.
So good to have you here. So a little bit of a background story. Chanel you're the same age as my sister, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we also went to school together, but you're just a couple of years younger than me. And it's been really, really cool because I think after school, we've kind of connected through different ways. So like,
Mm.
was it the tarot course that we did together?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And those types of things. So it's been really cool to watch your journey as well. And I feel like we've both been going through a similar journey of just like, you know, building the foundations of our business and getting to that point of being, in our business and whatnot. So it's really cool to have you here on the podcast. Chanel, you are a Reiki healer, which is really, really cool. I would love to know a little bit about how you even heard about Reiki, because I know in the town that we live in, it wasn't like a big thing. Well, anyway, for me growing
Yeah.
up, how did you hear about Reiki and what magnetized or attracted you to wanting to become a Reiki practitioner?
That is actually a really good question because if you asked me what I thought I would be doing now, 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, I definitely wouldn't have said a Reiki healer or anything kind of spiritual like this whatsoever. I was kind of introduced to this path. I actually had a reading with a close family friend, like a tarot reading, and she said, I can see one of your paths as like a healer. And I was like, that's really interesting because throughout my entire life, I've always been told I would make like a good nurse or a good doctor or something like that. And it's just never felt aligned to me. It's not really been my vibe. And I'm like, that's really interesting. And then my mother-in-law, she actually booked me in for a healing session with a lovely local lady. And I had this beautiful experience with her. And I was like, wow, that was really amazing. It wasn't Reiki, but it was along those same sort of lines. And I think at the time, there was a lady who had posted in our local's Facebook page saying that she was offering angelic Reiki courses just in Waipu. So that was just 10 minutes up the road from where I'm living. So I thought that was really cool. The timing didn't align at that time or place. But I think a few months later, she posted again. And I was like, this is my sign. I'm just going to sign up and I'm just going to go and do it. And it all kind of flourished from there. As soon as I did the course, I think as soon as I finished it, basically, I made my Instagram page that night and was like, I'm going to do this, even just as a little side hustle for now. But it's really turned into like a really big passion of mine. So, yeah.
I love that so much. And also, isn't it funny how I always talk about plans? When someone has a plan, and that plan could go to plan, let's just say like someone's life vision. You said that you wouldn't have known that Reiki angelic healer would be on, in your vision. But like when someone has a plan, that can either go to plan or it either cannot go to plan. And it just depends that sometimes the not going to plan, it's either it feels really heavy because you really wanted your other plan to go to plan. This is like a tongue twister now. Or you wanted, or this plan that didn't go to plan, something else happened so much better. And it's really cool because there was all these options for you, like the nursing and whatnot, that you said could be like you could be really good at. And then this came into your path. And I always believe that things happen for a reason, and the
Yeah.
people that we meet happen for a reason. So it's really cool that you followed that little dig at a passion, and that is now what you're working towards because it's such a big passion of yours. So I think that that's so cool, because I feel like that there's a lot of intuition that is involved there. There's this area, or there's this part of people that sometimes will block out their intuition. So
Yeah.
I know that you talk and you help people to, follow their intuition more. And I just wonder, like, for your own experience back then, like, how did you follow your own nudges at your own intuition instead of, potentially letting in any judgments or any ego, any, voices inside your own head stop you and limit you from taking this path?
Well, I think there was definitely that fear of like judgment, as we all have, like those little things, but something inside me really just like clicked, and it's just that gut feeling you get, and you just, you know, and you know, and it just really felt right for me at the time. And I was like, even if it's not going to work out, like I need to do this course and I need to follow this feeling through, just to see where it leads me. And it's turned out really, really well. So it's just trusting that inner guidance and that feeling that you get within you as well. Like I often say to my clients when they're asking about like how can I increase my intuition, I say that you can start really small just by asking yourself small questions like, do I feel like a coffee right now? How does that sit within you? If it's like an immediate yes, then that's awesome. Like that's that feeling. If it's a no, then that's fine. If it's a humming and harring, then that could also be a no as well. So it's just really learning to follow those little nudges and how that feels within you and how that really sits within you. And then forget about the rest and the judgment. Like you got to live your life and do what suits you. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, 100%. I love
Yeah.
that. A couple of things I hear a lot of people say if it's not a full body yes, like you just know it.
Mm,
It's like that gut
yeah.
feeling that you're talking about. If it's not a full body yes, then it's a no. So
Yeah.
it's like just following when it comes to intuition. I feel like, and I was talking to a client of mine about this the other day. Something I like to make it a game when I'm trying to practice or strengthen that muscle of my intuition. I always try to make it a game. So, like, especially if you have spare time, or even if you're like, okay, for example, if you are driving to work and you often people can go straight autopilot the exact same route to work every single day. And something that I used to do when I was working here in New Zealand is there were so many different ways to go to my work. So I used to just like listen to those little nudges. I really feel like going that way today. I have no idea why, but what's the harm? I'm going to go that way today. And it's kind of cool because you're like, huh, and like I listen to my intuition. It feels good. It feels fulfilling. So I just feel like with the intuition thing, it's exactly what you're saying. Just like start asking yourself those questions like, is it this that I want or is it that? Oh, it's that. Okay, cool. Let's go with that. I feel like that is definitely like the way to strengthen your intuition. And I think the more that we can practice that, the better we're going to become at listening to our intuition and following the nudges of true alignment.
Yes, yeah, I love that. And it is exactly like a muscle. Like the more you use it, the more you train it, the better it's going to be. And then the easier it's going to be to implement into your everyday life. So before you know it, you'll just be living intuitively and doing exactly what feels right for you all the time. So you just got to start small and go from there until it just becomes second nature and you're in the flow and you're doing life exactly how you want to be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so before I forget to ask, a question that I get a lot is, what is Reiki healing? And
So there are actually quite a few different types of Reiki healing, which I didn't actually even know when I signed up to angelic Reiki. I learned that on the day. So there is like the more traditional Usui Reiki, which is like your traditional Japanese Reiki. And I do angelic Reiki. So the main difference is Usui Reiki is the practitioner is doing the healing. So they're connecting to source energy and they're doing the healing on their client's body through them. And angelic Reiki is the practitioner connects to light beings, so like angels, things like that, anything of really positive frequency, high frequency. And so they're connecting to their energy, and the angels are actually doing the healing, but through the practitioner.
oh,
So some of the benefits of that is reducing stress and tension, rebalancing your chakras, clearing out old energy, promoting feeling of rest and balance, promoting natural balance between mind, body, and your soul, also increasing your intuition as well. Like I often have a lot of clients when they're on the table, they can get emotional, which does kind of scare people at first, but it's all really natural. So like things that are coming up that you never realized you were pushing down and blocking, that all comes to light on the table. So it can be emotional for some people, but it's really amazing to see how this affects everyone's lives afterwards. And they go, oh, like, I never realized that I was holding this down or I was still holding on to this thing. And it's really just brought this to the light and they were able to let things go or just able to see things more clearly. So it's a really,
mm,
really beautiful experience. And it's really cool to watch clients and see how they grow and experience life after these sessions and implement it into their kind of self-care routines as well. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. I actually didn't realize that there were more than one type of Reiki healing. I
Yes, yeah.
love that because it's like you're channeling through the angels. And I
Mm,
love that explanation. It's the angels that are doing the healing, but through the practitioner, which is really, really cool. That takes
yeah.
a lot of energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I read tarot and I know how much energy that takes out of me. So I'm like, oh, I could only just imagine, like yourself and these energy healers who just, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, yeah. And I also think that every healing journey has its times of discomfort. And I
Mm,
think that is exactly why a healing session is, there as an opportunity for you to do, because like these are the things that have been suppressed deep inside. Perhaps they're like, traumas, perhaps it's like, I don't know, the resistance, the blocks, all of those things. And the whole point of, healing sessions is to bring that, out of the shadows and into the light so that you
yeah.
can clear them out rather than keeping them within. So yeah, 100%. I think for all of my Reiki sessions, I've been emotional. And I think that that's, I don't know, important. It feels like you are clearing it all out. It feels cleansing. So,
Yes, yeah. And
mm,
it's really just like clearing out the old energy, anything stagnant, anything negative, anything that you no longer need to be holding on to, so you can make space for the new energy, new positive energy to come through into your life as well. So,
mm,
yeah. It's like spiritual, or what would you say? It's like energetic decluttering, I
oh,
would say.
oh, I
Yeah.
like
You
that.
can
Energetic.
declutter your physical space, but it's also really amazing to declutter your energetic space as well.
I think
Yeah.
that's a really good point that you bring up. It's like a lot of people, they'll have their spring clean or they'll clean out their wardrobe and throw out the old things, give them to charity or away, their old clothes and whatnot. But it's like we don't think about having an energetic cleanse or an energetic declutter at the same time,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
also important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I know that you help people, or I know that you help your clients with protecting their energy. So we've kind of talked about cleansing their energy and like decluttering and getting out all that stagnant negative energy. So when we talk about protecting your energy, what does this look like?
So I'm actually doing a little protecting your energy series on my Instagram at the moment. So I've got one up and I'm going to be doing these over the next couple of weeks. Some other ways that you can protect your energy is meditation as well. Like at the end of the day, you can come home in the evening. It doesn't matter what time of day, but meditation is a really awesome way of protecting your energy, calming down your nervous system as well. So you're not having all this crazy energy built up inside you. You can release via that method. Just conscious breaths throughout the day as well. I think sometimes we can get really, really caught up in how much we have to do, what's next, all of our to-do lists. So even while you're going about your day, just stop and remember to do some conscious breathing. Grounding as well is a really, really awesome way to protect your energy. So going outside, barefoot, spending some time feeling the earth, reconnecting your energy to the earth. Reiki is another way of protecting your energy as well. Your surroundings, so this can be your physical surroundings. So obviously keeping things decluttered on the regular, the people that you're hanging out with as well. Exercise can be a really great way of protecting your energy as well. So that's also really awesome for releasing any pent up energies. Journaling, I like doing a big brain dump if I feel like my brain is really cluttered and I need to declutter that as well. What else? Drinking water. I also like to imagine like a bright white light surrounding me. I try to do this most days when I remember. So it's just like a nice bright white light that's positive and it's protecting me, and anything negative can't go through that shield. I'll put one around myself and my house and my car, my partner and my dog. But yeah, those are just some ways that you can implement into your life for protecting your energy.
Yeah, I love
Mm.
that so much. And yeah, there's so many really good tips there for people to do. And the best part about it is, all of these tips, it's like for people leading busy lives, which is most
Yeah.
people in this world, they're doable, they're sustainable, they're like short, they're not going to take up, your entire day. You're not taken away from work for an entire day. It's just like easy, sustainable things that you can do and practices that you can do. For example, like you're visualizing the bubble around your house. That's all you need to do. Anything else is just bouncing off, rebounding back any negative energy. That's actually one of my favorites, like the visualization. I like to
Yeah.
get really, because I love doing all of these things, the journaling, the meditating, and
Mhm.
and I think they're super important. But one that I love playing with is, like you say, the visualization where you have the white light around you, or I don't know, put myself into a jar and close the jar lid and everything else, just nothing can get inside and it's just
Yeah.
protecting energy, or like the bubble around you, whatever it is. It's fun. I was also having a chat about this to one of my clients the other day as well, this whole protecting your energy. It works, and it's so beneficial. It doesn't take much time. It's practice, it's consistency, and the more you can do it, the more your energy is protected and the better you will feel. Mm.
You can even do it in the shower as well. When you're having a shower and just imagine the water is washing away anything negative and cleansing you from your day. I really like that one because most of
100%.
us have a shower every day. So
I love how you say most of us.
yeah,
Just for the
most
ones
people.
that
Yeah.
don't. Okay, cool. And then talking about like healing journeys, I would love to know your opinion on whether you think a healing journey is linear.
I love this question. I was actually even going to bring this up myself by saying that nobody's healing journey is linear. Everybody has different timelines and different things that they need to learn within this life. And it's really important not to compare your journey with somebody else's as well. Like, even just thinking, why am I going through all these things and my friend over here isn't? But the thing is, we don't actually really know what other people are going through as well. Like, what you're going through might seem hard for you, but you're coping with it, and you obviously have the strength to carry that. And somebody else might not be able to carry what you're carrying. So I think just really zooming out as well on your healing journey and how far you've come. Look back in time to where you were a year ago, 3 years ago, even 6 months ago, and just really congratulate yourself and just take everything one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. And you just got to keep going and keep trying. Every
Mm,
day it's like practice as well. The more
mm,
you do it, the stronger you get. And
mm.
yeah,
There's so many, yeah, pieces in here and messages that I love sharing, and as a constant reminder, it's like the practice makes perfect, just keep going.
yeah,
And I love how you bring up, well, I also agree that a healing journey isn't linear. Everyone's journey looks so different. And it's so true that, one person could be going through same thing as the next, but they deal with it in different ways. And this is
yeah,
based on so many different things, like what they're going through, their level of emotional intelligence, their level of education, their level of, like, one might be an empath and one might not be, those types of things. There are so many reasons why. And I think this is super important, even just coming from the other side, the one who's not going through that specific healing journey. The judgments don't need to be there. The comments don't need to be there. That is definitely something that we can start taking more responsibility on, because myself, I've had such a fear of judgments. We mentioned it, you mentioned it in the beginning of this episode, and I know
yeah,
every single person has that level of fear, or just does not like other people judging them. So when it comes to that, it's like we can just take more responsibility and don't worry about what anyone else's healing journey looks like if you know even the littlest part into it, because you don't know how big it is. You don't know how small it is. You don't know how big it is, but it's just like everyone needs to just stay in their own lane and work on themselves, and this world would be a lot more connected and a lot more happier. So yeah, I totally agree. And even just as an example of it not being linear, my spiritual coach, who because Claire, you did this
yeah.
with her, I was having a call with her the other day, and she asked me this one question, and it was quite funny because I didn't realize this until she told me. But she said, if you could rate your healing journey on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard it has been, what would you say that number would be? And it was such a contrast for me to think about, because the first thing I said was, oh, but I didn't realize I said that. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, well, to be honest, at the moment, it feels a lot better because I've done so much work for it to feel easier. And then she goes, but you don't need to say anything more, because the oof at the start tells me that there were times that were so unbearable for you, but you made it here. So it's
Yeah.
so true. That just goes to show that there's been times on my own healing journey, just as an example, that has been unbearable. And there are times like now where I feel a lot better. And that's not to say that there are going to be times that feel unbearable again. A healing journey is an endless journey. But it just goes to show that, it's not a linear one, and it's the same as life. Life is a roller coaster. There's ups and there's downs, and that's the way that life goes because we're human. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I also really love the saying, energy flows where your attention goes as well. So, like, that is something really awesome to remember. If you're feeling a bit down in the dumps, like, what are you focusing on? Where are you putting your energies? Are you focusing on the negative, or are you focusing on the positive? And not to say that you can't ever focus on the negative ever again, because that is bound to happen, but it's another working that muscle thing again and practicing that, and like, again, zooming out and trying to focus more on the positive, so you are attracting more positive energy into your life rather than attracting more negative things. So
Oh,
yeah.
don't get me started about law of attraction. We love talking about it. Absolutely, absolutely. I would love to know, at the moment in the season of life that you're in, do you have any, like, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, non-negotiables?
Or I would say at the moment, meditation is a big one for me. I have definitely noticed improved sleep. That's a big one for me. I'm a lot clearer minded, and I'm not as stressed throughout my days as well. Not that I'm stressed, but it just really helps to calm me down. And I just really notice the difference when I haven't been consistently meditating throughout my days and my evenings. I really know that, oh, something is a bit off. Oh, I haven't actually been meditating. So that is probably one of my non-negotiables at the moment. What else? And just drinking lots of water too. I think that's really important for helping to flush any negative energies out and keeping healthy as well. So
Mm,
yeah.
I think 100%. I consider meditation almost like a basic need.
Yeah.
And that is the basic need, and that is grounding and clearing your mind, because, we have so many thoughts in the day. It's like it will help us to just give our mind a bit of a declutter. We've talked about declutter,
Yeah.
a bit of a theme, so that, everything else can just flow really nicely as well. So I kind of consider that daily basic needs. I I totally agree. The water thing, I think that's the first place to start for people to look at. It's like sometimes things can be deeper, 100%. But what I would look at first is implementing your daily basic needs and your daily non-negotiables that work for you, because everyone has things that work different for them. Something that works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So I feel like everyone needs to look for those non-negotiables that they can create consistency around it, and something that feels good and works for them, so that they can, just live a very nourished life, and that will actually help you on your healing journey, or going into a healing journey, or just, expanding wherever you are going in your lifetime. So I think those are really, really important to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm. So I would love to know, is there anything else that you think is a really important message to get out there for the listeners?
Basically, I would just like to say that life is too short to live your life by other people's expectations of you, and to just live a life that is true to you and follow what feels good for you and your intuition, and just live your life and forget about what other people might be thinking of you, and all of that. So,
Mm.
yeah.
And I think that that's such a good message, because I think this ties into, when you do have that awareness, or things come up when you're like, you know what, I feel like I'm worrying too much about what other people think about me and whatnot. I feel like that's a really big indicator that there's some type of healing to do here. And that doesn't have to mean that it's like a really deep rooted healing journey, but that could also mean that it's just Maybe it's even a mindset shift. Maybe it's just something that's more surface level, but there is something to look at here if you are worrying about that. So the more we can heal that part of us, or, take away that limit of actually just being ourselves, the more we can actually be ourselves and live in alignment and live with all that, that yummy, flowy energy, like you mentioned. So I think that that's super important.
Yes, yeah, I love it.
All right, Chanel, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. I would love for you to let us know where we can find you, online and also in person.
Yes, yeah. So you can find me on Instagram at Soulful Reiki NZ, and I'm on Facebook, I think just as Soulful Reiki. I'm based in Mangawhai as well, so I do in-person Reiki sessions, but I also do distance ones as well. So on either of my socials, you'll find my booking link, so you can have a look on there, what package you would prefer, and yeah.
Amazing. And all of that will be in the show notes below. That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.